everybody. I'm Lara from Sewing Up Style and also known as the Sewing Stay when I'm doing K-pop stuff. And this is Michelle. Yay! And this is the special collaboration. Michelle is been around in the sewing community for quite some time, and she's always been a really awesome kind of supporter for me. And so I'm very happy she decided to do this collab with me. Um, she also is a really good sewist, and she's been coming to my live streams on Sunday and watched some of those reaction videos that I did, and I coerced her. I was a bad influence, and I got her to be a Stray Kids fan. So once that happened, I wanted some joy for the journey, and Michelle very kindly agreed to come with me on this collaboration. So the collaboration, I'll let Michelle talk about the collaboration.
All right, thank you, Lara. Okay, so our collaboration is we made a shirt inspired by Hyunjin in the Play with Fire video. And it didn't have to be an exact copy, just an inspiration. And the basic idea of his shirt is it's like a white tuxedo shirt with pin tucks. And the really coolest feature is it has angled pleats throughout the front bodice, back bodice, and the sleeves. So that's the general thing we were basing our shirts on. And throughout the project, Laura kept her secret from me. I do not know what hers look like. She didn't know what mine looks like. I didn't know what pattern or fabric she used. So we're all finding this out together.
Yay! So I'm going to let Michelle go first. The way the video is going to work is that I'll have Michelle go first. And so because we're going to do our part, obviously, in Zoom. And then after we get Michelle's part done, I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to probably do that on my phone with separate footage. And then we'll have our ending. So I will put chapters in so that you can fast forward, because Michelle's got some really great footage about how she did some of the things that she did, because she did a lot. I can tell you this shirt looks just like the one that's in the video. So I'm so impressed. I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited. So, okay, so let's go ahead and I will turn it over to Michelle. I'm going to make myself small, or get myself out of the way, actually. Okay, bye. I'll see you guys in a bit.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. So I'm just going to start out first with the fabric I used, and then I'll get into the pattern. What I used was a 100% rayon tencel in a linen weave style. And I got it from the Vogue fabric store, and I used my swatch catalog to help me pick out the fabric. If you happen to have the summer 2024 catalog and you turn to page 4, you will see the exact same fabric that I used right here. So that was fun to have the catalog and be able to know what I was getting before I ordered it. The pattern I used, so I had to put a lot of thought into how to design the shirt, because there was no pattern that says, oh, this matches exactly. So we had to finagle. I ended up choosing Simplicity 8753, a men's shirt pattern. I made View B the modern fit. Some things I knew I needed to change was I needed to add the pleated bib section and obviously the pleats throughout the bodice and sleeves. So what I did, you can see this has no bib section. So I decided to make my own. And I made a little video to show you my process, if you'd like to watch that now.
I am using Simplicity 8753, a men's shirt pattern. I'm doing View B, the modern fit. And here are the line drawings. You can see there's nothing with the pattern for a cutout bib part, so I'm going to work on making that myself. So here is piece number 13, the front, and I am going to draw a line somewhere from like here down around here somewhere, to make a line to cut the pattern apart to make the two separate pieces that I'll need. And I'm going to be using my curved rollers to help me draw a nice smooth line. I laid out my button placement pattern piece so I can make sure I did not want to cut through where a button or buttonhole was going to be. I drew my line, and before I cut it, I made 3 marks here to act as like notches in a pattern so I can line it back up together when I sew them together. Then I cut the line, and then here's my 2 pattern pieces. So the next thing I'm going to do is add the seam allowances back to the pattern pieces I just cut. I've got some extra tissue paper laying behind, and what's nice about this ruler is it is exactly 5/8 of an inch wide. So when I lay the edge touching my pattern piece, on the outside edge of this ruler is 5/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to mark that. I'm going to go all the way down this side for this pattern piece. And after I finish this one, I'm going to go do the other side also. Here's my 2 pattern pieces with the seam allowances added back on. And I went ahead and extended the marks for where the notches when I sew them back together. This bottom piece, I'm going to go ahead and cut out 2 pieces just like normal of the fabric. Up here, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to make a big rectangle with pleated fabric, and then I'll lay this on top and then cut out. This side over here where the button placket is will stay flat fabric, and the pleats will be in this section here. Okay, here's my rectangle fabric where I have sewn the pin tucks in it. I'll show you up close how it turned out. Just like that. To get it nice and even and a lot quicker, I used a pin tuck foot, which I did not have before. I bought it specifically for this project, and it worked out super well. I tried to take a video of me using it, but that did not go super well. So check out other people showing how to use the pin tuck foot. So this item is left flat for the button placket, and over here I'm going to line up where I want those pieces to be, and then I'm going to cut out around the pattern. For my front and back bodice pieces and my sleeves, I chose to go ahead and just take a big rectangle of fabric for each piece and go ahead and sew in the pleats randomly in places where I thought it would fall good on the pattern piece. They are on purpose askew to kind of match his the original shirt. And so I'm going to take my pattern piece, lay it on here, you know, like straighten it out and everything and get it laid where I wanted, and then go ahead and cut out the pattern piece. All right, so here's my 2 pattern pieces. I'm going to go sew them together, and then we should have a complete front piece. The overall piece that I have now is the same size and shape as the original pattern piece before I cut it all up. It went back together very well. Having the notch marks on the curve where I cut it apart worked out super helpful for putting it back together, and then clipping the curve and everything too as I sewed it together. The bodice pleats that I put in, remember I put those in on a full block of fabric and then cut out the pattern piece. So this is the same size. I did not add length, take length away. It's overall the exact same size as the original pattern piece. Now I'm going to do the same process to the other side of the front piece and get that all put together, and I'm going to cut out the rest of the pieces to the pattern. I'm also going to pre-pleat the fabric for the back piece and for the sleeves, and then I'm going to put the shirt together pretty much following the rest of the directions for the normal pattern. I am not going to put on the pointed collar. I'm just going to have the collar stand to be similar to the inspiration shirt. But otherwise, after these major alterations here, the rest of the shirt is going to go together following the basic pattern directions.
That is what I did. I followed the rest of the pattern exactly by the directions. I did nothing else different. And after I made all those changes, this pattern is actually pretty easy to put together. Just take it step by step. It seems like a lot at first, but as you break down each little section, It wasn't that bad at all.
Cool.
Something I liked about his shirt in the video was that his pleats were kind of raveled and stuff. And I did that as a sample on mine. And I realized really quickly I was going to look like a giant fuzzball if I tried that. So I kept mine nice and tight sewn together because it would have been a disaster otherwise. But that's about it. I think I have a reveal if you guys would like to see the reveal.
Yay, yeah, it's a reveal.
Here is the reveal of my finished shirt. Of course, I had to dress like Hyunjin from the Play with Fire video, so if you've watched that, then you'll recognize this look. Here's a close-up of the front. I think it looks great, and I am very proud of how it turned out. Here's some other angle views. That hair tie is a nod to the music video. Here is how I will most likely wear it in real life, worn open as an overshirt. Here I'm wearing it over a gold shiny tank top, along with dark jeans and dark brown booties. Here's an even more casual look, worn over muted plain tank top and paired with lighter jeans and tennis shoes.
Michelle, that was so awesome.
Thank you.
That's so super cool. That was really wonderful. I think it seriously is like almost, if not identical, like 99% identical, even down to the tux. I mean, like you did such a good job of the placement and everything. I was like watching and I was like, oh, mine's not at all like that.
I did 45 tucks, and I think I've done enough tucks for a while.
Sure. Oh my
That's
gosh.
not counting the bib placket. That was individual tucks.
How
So
long did it take you to do the bib?
using that foot was really quick. The pleating it with the foot maybe was 20 minutes
Oh, wow.
per, maybe together. I went slow to make sure I kept straight lines. It
Yeah.
didn't take long at all.
Well, that's cool. How long did the tux take you?
Oh man, hours,
Hours.
hours.
Me
Just
too.
because I did them on individual pieces, and it took a long time.
I did it differently. I cut out the bodice. I thought about doing it on fabric and then I was like,
Mhm.
I ran out of time. I was just like, I gotta hurry. So I just did it on the bodice pieces and it kind of shrunk it up a little bit here and there, but it was okay. But it took me way longer than I thought it was gonna take me.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was part of why I was late
Mhm.
because I was like, no, this didn't work out right. So yes, it's crazy how long that took, I thought.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah.
But once I got that done, the rest of the shirt was very quick and easy.
Yeah, I agree. Mine was too. I'll put in just a really short little section about how I did the individual pleats because some of mine are in the middle of the shirt. So I
Mhm.
really did kind of treat it more as a, I don't know, what are they called? As a okay, never mind. I'll talk about it. What is it? Where you like? I'm like a dip. It's not a dip. What is it called? Oh my gosh. The like bus darts, darts. Yeah, this is what the live streams are like, by the way, everybody on Sunday. What is that? How does that work? Anyway, Okay, so um, any other thoughts?
It was really fun. This is the first time I've ever tried to recreate a project, and it was very interesting. I put probably more time into thinking about what I was going to do, besides doing the pleats, than otherwise what I actually did. But it was very fun and interesting to
Yeah.
figure out.
Do you think has that changed how you view your own sewing? Are you like, are you thinking the world's the limit, or
Well,
are
it
you
made
like, I
me a
don't ever
lot
want
more
to do this again?
creative than I thought, because I always just like, okay, I'll do that view with a certain, and then I'm like, that's it. I don't think past that really. So this will really challenge me to think more than what the pattern says it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm
Thank you.
happy.
And I
Because
have a shirt that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
yeah.
I checked my closet. I only had one other button up shirt
Oh,
and I
really?
never wear it. So I have another one that I will wear this one now since all the work went into it.
Yeah. Well, it looks really, really nice too.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And Laura, I think your shirt looks great too. I really like your angled pleats. They're like wider than mine and more true to his shirt. And I think that looks really nice.
I thought about doing the fuzzing too, and I was
Mhm.
like, it won't last long then. The shirt will just, because it's linen, so it would just fall apart, you know. So yeah,
Mhm.
the fuzzing I wasn't real sure about either.
So it's my turn now. I'm going to talk to you about how I came up with my shirt, which is not quite as detailed as Michelle's. In fact, it's probably not very detailed, but I did follow some of the main elements. I used Mimi G Simplicity 8427. I used just this version with the barrel cuffs. I did not do the that's because that's what's on Hyunjin shirt, so I just did barrel cuffs. And then I was going to make a 42, and I thought it would be a little bit too roomy because his shirt is, quite close to his body. And so I went with a 40, and I ended up with, after putting in the tucks, it just fits around my chest. So I chose not to do a bib front for the shirt because bib fronts generally do not look good on me. I feel like I look like a pigeon. So I just did not want to even contemplate that because I wanted to, have a shirt that I would wear. And I knew if it was a bib front, I would never wear it. So I just avoided that completely, and I just put some tucks up here instead. Let's see, I made the shirt out of a white linen that I had already. I believe his shirt is a linen shirt, so that was true to the, to the inspiration. So maybe I should just go ahead and do a reveal. Hold on. So for the sleeve tucks, I needed to keep the tuck from running into the placket. And so I had these actually angled. So on one side, it butts right up against the placket. On the other side, because of the angle of the pleat, it's quite far away. But that limited the amount of pleats and how far down on the sleeve I could actually go. I also have two just kind of across here. I didn't even really look at the shirt when I was putting in the pleats. I was like, I looked and I was like, okay, well, there's some up here and there's some down here, and then that was kind of it. His has the bib, and then it had some pleats on the sides, so I just continued the pleats across the bust line. But I did not want them to be directly across the bust line, so I went ahead and angled those as well. So something about the tucks is that when I put them on the angle, it actually pulled in the sides a little bit. So I think maybe it's just the way the shirt is shaped. I don't know. But if you wear it buttoned up, it has a nice shape actually to it. It kind of curves in on the sides. Okay, to make the pleats, this is what I did. I've got some fabric down here, and I will just show you. Let me just turn it. Okay, whoops. Kind of pull that out here. All right, I just decided where I wanted them to go, and then I just drew them on. So, for example, if I wanted it to curve like that, I just drew a line. And then I did, because I wanted it to be a little bit wider pleat, so that it was more visible, I did another line about probably 1/4 of an inch away. Again, I just kind of freehanded it. So I just kind of followed the other line, trying to keep it as straight as possible, you know, as close to 1/4 of an inch. Like that. Then I took my pins. Where did I lose my pins at? Uh-oh. I took my pins, and then I treated them like a dart. So if this end, we'll pretend this end went all the way to the edge. But on this end, so you can see, this end goes all the way over. This end over here ends in the middle of the fabric. So I would just pin everything from one line to the other like you do with a dart. And sometimes I would forget which side I was doing, so I'd have to transfer the pins. That's probably another reason why the tucks took me forever, because I would have to unpin it and repin it and unpin it and repin it. It was annoying. But I got it done, and I really like this shirt, so I am, however, thinking about giving it to my son, just because buttoned up it's a little bit on the tight side. So then I just kind of, so after I pinned them across so that I could peek the fabric, then I just peeked the fabric in the middle and took the pin, whoops, and then pinned it along the line. And this, of course, is not going to be, I mean, like, it's just a piece of fabric. So, however, I should probably go this way. So I marked the end of the line here with this end of the pin, and then I just continued on along. So, and that's how I kept the curves of the tuck. I just made sure to kind of do it in the middle and kind of work it around. So, whoops. If anybody has a better way of doing this, please let me know. I mean, I don't know when I'm going to ever do this again, but it was very much an enjoyable process, kind of trying out some things and problem solving, which is a lot of what sewing is. Hacking patterns, that's always fun. I enjoy that. It's quite the challenge. So I have a question for you guys in the comments. Do you guys hack patterns very often? Is that something that you'd like to do? Because it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to take something and change it into something else. Okay. All right, so now it's all pinned. So I just would take my machine. Sorry, very loud. Okay. And then because it went to the end, I started at the end, and it would match up better because this is not a straight piece of fabric. Uh-oh. I forgot I took out my bobbin. So we're just gonna put this in there. I was sewing buttons on, and I took out the bobbin thread to use for the buttons. And it's upstairs, and I'm not gonna go get it. Okay, here we go. So just, and then just sew it. Can you see okay? I need my butt, shoot. There we go. Taking out the pins as I go along. And then I'm just stitching along the line. Ooh. And I'm pulling it straight as I go around the curve, kind of just flattening it out. So I'm getting close to the end. Here's the end of the last pin, and I can see that. So then I just sew off the edge like that, and then I just tied it off like a dart, where I guess if you guys don't know, like somebody watching might not know. So the way you do that is you just take the threads and you just tie them by hand. Ooh, actually what I did first was I took a needle and I just pulled the threads through to the back, and then I tied them like that, like you tie a shoe, and cut off the ends, and then I just pressed the pleat down. That happens at least once a video, I think. Okay, press the pleat down, and then there you go. I don't have my iron on, but that's how you do it. And then you end up with pleats like, where's the pleat? Like this. Nope, that one goes all the way across. Okay, like that. You can see. It goes across, and then it just kind of peters out, and it's a tuck that is not all the way across the shirt. So, back to regular me. As far as the pattern, it's a really good pattern. I have not had a bad pattern that Mimi G or Nora Stanta Ford have put out. They always are very, thorough explanations and very easy. And then there's always usually a tutorial if you get stuck. So I would say if you're a male sewist and you want to do a shirt, this is a good shirt to start with. It's very basic, but lots of options, and the directions are good. If you're a female sewist and you want to make one for yourself, you can use it too. That was kind of sexist, wasn't it? So anybody obviously can wear these shirts. So let's see. This was my first time successfully doing plackets, and the first placket did not turn out so good. That's this one. If you can see, it's kind of rough. But it's kind of hidden back here up underneath the tuck, so I figured it was good. This placket though, look at that placket. So there's this little bit sticking out. But overall, it's a beautiful placket. So you're supposed to have another button like about here. I do not have that. And the reason for that is because my buttonhole on my sewing machine, my buttonhole maker on my sewing machine has always been wonky. And it did the buttons on the front, for which I was very grateful, but for some reason it would not feed through the feed dogs, like the feed dogs just grabbed onto it. The cuffs. The cuffs are 2 pieces of linen and interfacing, and for some reason it just refused. And I tried on both cuffs and it just was not going to do it. So I figured, one button on each side is great, because I had to make my own buttonholes too, because it just wasn't going to do it, and I had no other option. So what I did was, I don't know if you can see this, I just straight stitched on either side, and then I stitched across this way, and then I just cut it open. I think, you know, before they had the automatic machines, that people maybe use zigzag stitches. Some of you older sewists might know, like could tell me for sure, but I did not have time. It was like really late last night, so I just did straight stitches, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It worked out fine. I might do that in the future. I just might be done with the automatic buttonhole making machine and just do it myself. So yeah, that's it. I don't know anything else to tell you. So we will go back to the Michelle and I portion of this video.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for doing this with me. And you have been a go-getter from the very start. More focused probably than, well, definitely more focused than I've been. So I appreciate all your enthusiasm and just taking the effort and learning all the new things, including the computer things. And I really think you need a YouTube channel. You could share mine. How's that? So.
Well, thank you, Lara. It was a lot of fun, and thank you for inviting me to do the project and to be on your video.
All right. Yay. So coming up will be the live stream on Sunday, and then I will do cancer hats. So the video after, but I'm going to see how many hats can I sew in a week. So come back after this video for next week and see how many I get done and which ones I get done, because I'm going to be making hopefully a lot of different styles. So thank you so much for coming and watching. Thank you to Michelle again for playing with me. And I just appreciate you all for watching this video. Michelle does too. And what do you guys think? I'm going to remember to put in some pictures. Do you think Michelle's shirt looks exactly like it? Would you be interested in ever making a shirt with these kinds of details and giving the bib a try, making your own bib? So just talk to us in the comments, and Michelle or I will be more than happy to talk more about our projects because it was a lot of fun. So, okay, well, I guess that's all. Thank you.